Hello and welcome to another episode of Visceral Musings. My name is Cody Reed, and it is Wednesday. That means it is time for Season 2, Episode 9, the second to last episode of this season of Visceral Musings. And if you've been following along, then you know that this week has been full of heavy announcements, especially in the world of Negative 32. It's been a long week already, and it's only fucking Wednesday. But I think that's why this episode is so important, because I am joined by my creative partner, as well as one of my best friends on this planet, BREYDON Hill. And we talk about his early years as a musician. We talked about the lives and deaths of our creative projects such as Safety School and Negative 32, and I even had him read a couple of ads for me. Maybe we'll generate some ad revenue over at Visceral Musings. But more so than all of that, we talked about a collective favorite movie of ours, a small picture called Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. So stick around, this is an episode centered around friendship. Let's get right into it, and let's boogie. I can feel the sand between my toes and the nipple in my mouth.
I would fuck a clone of myself.
What a perfect asshole.
Could kiss you on the mouth. Bunch of fat midgets. I am gonna take a shot of Fireball right now. I love aromatics in the bedroom.
I don't know where the leg hair stops and the pubic hair begins. Hello and welcome to another episode of Visceral Musings. My guest today is a quirked up white boy with the stroke game that echoes through the trenches of Clay Springs. He's a man of many nicknames, the only dude I've ever kissed in front of my mother, and a gentle soul who is also one of my best friends on the planet, my friend, BREYDON Hill. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm alright.
How'd you like that?
That was nice.
It was electric.
It was really sweet, yeah.
The first question I like to ask every single person that I've had on this podcast is, who are you and what do you do?
I'm BREYDON. Mostly I just hang around. I like to watch TikToks and I like to pet your cat. That's how I spend most of my days.
Is that a euphemism or do you actually pet my cat?
No, I sleep on top of your cat. I don't know if you know this, but like she sleeps
really
under me these days.
She's into it.
Yeah, she's a big cuddle bug, dude.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
No, I sling dick. I
True.
play guitar.
True.
I got swag.
Church.
That's what I do. I make coffee for money. That's what I do for money.
You know, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't write this down and I just remembered it. So you and I, without saying where, we work for the same company.
Boo.
Yeah. So this is what I got as a description for the job that we have. I show up to work and there's a person wearing latex gloves and they're holding a giant dry cucumber, the biggest cucumber I've ever seen in my life. And
Is
they
this
say,
a euphemism?
Yeah, they say, will you, hey, Cody, real quick, would you, after you're clocked in, would you mind sitting on this cucumber? And I'm like, that's a big cucumber. That's probably the biggest cucumber I've ever seen. And they're like, yeah.
Way bigger than yesterday.
Yeah. And I'm like, can you, do I need to? And they're like, do you want to get paid? And I'm like, fuck. So then I sit down on the cucumber until it's all the way into me. And then I stand up off the cucumber, I clock out, and I go home. And then I come back, and then, the next day they have a bigger cucumber waiting for me. And I can almost never believe it.
And they don't even give you gloves.
Nope. I just sit on it. I sit on the cucumber, and then they say, look at me. The whole time I'm doing, they say eye contact. Yeah, and then they say, I'm over here. Yeah. And then I look at them, and they say, now say thank you. And then I say, thank you.
Yeah. Does that make you feel good? Does it make you feel a little naughty?
I'm impressed with how much of the cucumber I can fit into myself. Yeah.
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 I was
not
thinking
rewarding.
more about like the interactions.
Oh, the meaningful connections.
The being talked down to. Does that make you feel? Does that really do it for you?
Yeah. I think I've learned to love it.
Yeah.
In a way. So when you pee, do you flop over your waistband or are you through the window?
Oh, I take my pants off actually.
Oh, what would that be?
Ankles. So I take my shoes off if I'm not in public. This is at home. I take my shoes off. And
I've
then
seen
my
you
socks.
do it in public.
That was only once, and that was at a fucking concert. So that doesn't even. It's like not even real.
Yeah, I saw you. What would they call that? Well, typically, if you flop over the waistband, that would make you flop gang. If you go through the window, that would make you window squat.
I don't know anybody who does it through the window though. Like
don't
realistically, I think we're all flop gang unless you're like 70. Right?
I've had 2 people on the show that are through the window, which is I've had a lot of guests, and I've had 2 window squads. And one of them was Grant Becker from the Desert Rats podcast. He's a window squad.
It's too much work.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I really just got to get out of there. You know.
You would if you have to pull your pants all the way down around your ankles, that would be like the ankle bracelet crew or something like that. I don't know. What is it called?
Do that.
What's it called when you see prisoners like picking up trash on the side of the road and their ankles are chained and they have to
slavery, actually,
or like chain gang or something like that?
Oh,
isn't that what it's called? Like a chain gang?
Yeah.
Yeah. You told me one of the funniest things one time, which was like, I told you to start an OnlyFans or something, and you were like, I don't know where the leg hair stops and the pubic hair begins or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how many people are going to be into that. Turns out a lot of people are into it, and I've been making a lot of money.
Oh, shit. Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good time. Like, I try not to brag, but...
No. Spread your cheeks, man. Let them know. So I got my next question here for you is, most of my questions are rooted in fact. Let me just begin by saying this. Yeah. So as a theater kid, is the role of straight guy in a committed relationship, has it ever been difficult for you to maintain? And when can we both formally announce that we are gay?
Only once, and I'd rather not talk about it. But yeah, we can formally announce that.
You know, that would be the most lackluster announcement of all time. If we were like, we've been gay this whole time, they'd be like,
yeah,
yep.
We both had cover-up girlfriends.
I don't think anybody would be. Actually, hold up. You know how when Donald Trump was president, and then every single day we were like, are we going to war? Are we going to war? And then like they're like banning abortion and all kinds of shit. And then the government, just the CIA, surprise announced that aliens were real. And no one gave a fuck.
That was like right at the end of his presidency, though.
Right, but still, they were like, "Oh, and by the way, aliens, UFOs, all that shit."
Fucking shit to worry about, dude.
Exactly.
There was an insurrection going on.
That's how I feel, though. Is if like we said that, they'd be like, "That does yeah."
Okay, dude. Like whatever.
With all the other shit we've seen you guys do, you think this is news?
Yeah. No. I think we're sort of into each other in a different way.
Yeah.
You like to mind fuck me.
Yeah, it's like intellectual kink or something like that.
Yeah, sorry about my mic etiquette, by the way. I've been reading up on how to podcast.
Yeah, have you really?
No.
Oh. Number 3, my question. Well, it's less of a question. You hate the term fingering.
Yeah, it's gross. It's graphic.
I just wanted to say that while you have my voice in both of your ears at the same time. Fingering.
No.
Thank you. 4. I've been making shit up about you for about... I did the math.
Since we met, I think.
About half a decade.
Yeah.
I've been making up shit about you. What's the worst nickname that I've given to you that has stuck?
Oh, dude. You know which one it is.
I have a couple.
The ones that stick in my brain or the one that's stuck and people refer and remember me as that?
Like call you unprompted?
No. No, I think it's a thing of the past, but Piss Man was huge for like a year and a half. Everybody was calling me Piss Man. You fucking piss your pants one time.
Well, I think the birthday cake that I got you didn't help.
Oh yeah, that was a good birthday cake though. I didn't eat any of it, but it looked nice.
I got you most people don't know, but I got BREYDON Hill a birthday cake for his 21st birthday that was it was a white cake with yellow frosting on it, or yellow like writing on it that just said, I think it just said piss.
Just said Piss Man.
Yeah, it just said Piss Man.
It didn't say happy birthday. It didn't say 22, 21. It didn't say any of that.
Oh, bitch mama.
There we go. For Georgie.
I love Georgie.
Yeah,
Georgie, if you're listening to this,
oh, bitch mama.
You get us every time.
So I thought of Little Buddy was another one.
Yeah, Little Buddy. Okay, Cody got these fuckers at work calling me Little Buddy, but he didn't tell me, and I didn't know that was happening. I would just clock into work and think that like people thought it was okay to call me Little Buddy.
Yeah, they'd be like, "What's up, little buddy?" And it was the
I've
funniest
had
shit.
this conversation at work with people. I have told them straight up. I'm like, buddy is the worst thing that a man can call another man.
It's emasculating.
It's
like,
emasculating.
yeah.
It shows that they don't respect you, and it
a
shows
power
that
move, yeah.
they want you to know that they don't respect you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way to win the conversation without even like having a like.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
You know
Like,
how
oh, fuck.
I can tell somebody is cool and they do have respect for people is when they call me boss.
Boss.
Somebody called me a boss at work the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost cried. I teared up a little bit.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's worthy of it.
After so many buddies, that one boss really, gives you a lot.
So we got Piss Man, which was unfortunate because I think you it took a long time to shake the Piss Man. You had to shake it once or twice. Any more than that, you're playing with yourself.
Yeah, did you notice my shoes? Refurbished.
Yeah. But I became Piss Boy for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
So we were on tour.
Yep.
And we're talking shit with Eric Corum and some members of Vacant Skies. And Cody was telling this story about on the way to this show, he really had to piss, but the fucking traffic was so bad and he couldn't find a restroom. As if we're not like in the fucking grasslands of California. Like nobody's gonna see you piss right here. Dude.
No. This was in Anaheim. This is
that's
off
a
the
little bit
freeway.
different.
Yeah, because we hit that like Disneyland traffic.
Yeah, well, anyways, Cody pisses in like an industrial lot or something, and
they
he
were,
got
while
a
they
little,
were working.
he got a little fucking drizzle on his pants,
man.
and then he started telling people about it,
Yeah.
which is that's what I thought was weird because like he told me, and I was like, okay,
Well, I think I thought I was going to get in front of it.
no,
Like,
but then he told Eric that, and Eric was the wrong person to fuck with because he did not let that shit slide.
Nah.
He said, okay, he called him Piss Boy. We called him Piss Boy for the rest of tour.
Yeah. Which is like, I'm like,
It was such like sweet victory on my end. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, like it made me feel like Dick Grayson,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like Batman, but I was Piss Boy and you were Piss Man.
Yep.
For a while. Yeah. It changed our dynamic, I think, for maybe for the better, honestly, because like, I got a taste.
It made you view me differently.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I will say though that Piss Boy lasted for about fucking that
A
day.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to keep it going.
What's the so my first real question for you is who were your earliest musical influences? Because a lot of people don't know this about old Breydo. Oh, fucking A, Breydo. That's one. Yeah.
That's a good one. My dad has called me that since I was born.
And that's why I took it.
Yeah.
Because you told me you were like, oh, my dad, because I told you my mom and my dad both call me Bubba. And then you were like, oh, my dad calls me Breydo. And
Yeah.
so I took it and I started calling you Breydo in the friend group. Like, because whenever it was usually like if the band came over, but it was like me, you, Ben, George, and then whoever else just hanging out at the apartment. So we all started calling you Breydo. And then I remember the first time I called you Breydo in front of your sisters, they were like, oh, fucking stop.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking gross. And yeah, I kept calling you Breydo.
People at work. Adriana calls me Breydo.
Does she?
Shout out Sholos.
Redacted.
Yeah. But my first real question is
Redacted.
who are your, I'll redact. You know what? But real quick, before I'm going to redact it again, but fuck.
Redacted.
It's such a bad place.
It's a bad environment.
Like obviously I've been there for
Break.
Oh, wait.
Redacted.
There we go.
obviously I've been there for too long, but holy shit.
It just gets worse.
It gets worse.
Bigger cucumber every time. Who were your earliest musical influences, and what was your experience like trying to put together your own ideas into like a song in our little hometown? Because we grew up in the same place, but I'm older than you, so I wasn't around for like your early formative years as like becoming a musician. I honestly don't think I've ever even asked you about it.
I think Marty Robbins kind of had a hold on me, and then at the time that I started my first band, I was really into shit like Peach Pit, and I don't know, Sonic Youth is a good one to mention. Makes me look sophisticated and respectable. Modest Mouse, everything that Modest Mouse puts out, I feel like it just feels very honest.
Yeah.
Like they're not pretending.
No.
Pine Grove.
Yeah.
Shit, I listened to Pine Grove for
I knew that one. I knew Pine
Forever.
Grove. I knew Remo Drive.
yeah.
What's the other? I think it was Is it fucking Prince Daddy that you have, like, they signed your
I've seen
Teenage
Prince
Mutant
Daddy.
Ninja Turtle?
Oh yeah, because they have a line in one of their songs. They're reaching out from the rubble like in Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the visual. Who's the fucking guy?
Shredder.
Shredder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got him to sign that. It's pretty cool. I still have it.
I remember you telling me that you learned how to play guitar mostly from, like, YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like John Mayer.
The first fucking song that I learned on guitar was "Love Yourself" by
From Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber, yeah.
Now that's cool.
Then
Not so
Clown.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about your time with a band called Safety School?
Safety School was the best shit that ever happened to me. It gave me confidence. It kind of put me in a place to where I felt that I could make something that was bigger than myself. It was a whole lot of work to get there, but at the end of that band's life, I think it was a very solid foundation, like, as an artist. Like, I know about respect, and I know about hard work as a musician because of that band.
Yeah, I think so too, because it started out with you and Sean, like just you and Sean, and then there was
Sean Douglas.
Sean Douglas. Lane was in there for a little bit. I think there was another guy. I don't remember his name.
Bo Williams. He came to our show. He loved Negative 32.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. But I remember when the first time we ever put you guys on a bill, I was like, fucking put Safety School on. And at the time, Colton and I had different mindsets when we were, because we were older. But you and Colton are closer in age than you and I are. But like, so you guys knew each other from school, and I remember you guys bought our little fucking Origin of Feces.
Oh yeah, I was terrified to approach Colton for that.
He is intimidating though.
I mean, and by that time he was going by a nickname.
Catfish.
And so I didn't actually like know what his real name was. I tugged on his shirt. Remembering this, I feel like such a small child.
Hey,
I
mister.
tugged on his shirt. Hey, mister, I heard you're selling CDs. And then he gave me a hug after.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I feel like we've been pretty tight.
He had a pin too for he had our buddy Gavin shirtless.
I still have that. It's in my car.
Holding a fucking banana. Yeah, we. I remember hearing about you. You bought that little CD from Colton, and then we played at your guys' what the fuck was it called? Like the
High school.
Yeah,
the field day.
Cougar Day.
Yeah.
Because Colton and Josh were seniors, and I had been out of high school for like a year and a half, and I got to go play at the high school with the kids, like for their graduation thing, and then we get done. And we sold like every fucking shirt that we made.
We were hyped, dude.
Yeah, that was a good day. But I remember
we were the only local band.
Yeah, for a time, yeah. But then I remember we were putting shows together, and I was like, get those like Safety School kids. And Colton was like, I don't think they actually play in a band. He's like, I think they're just I think it's just two guys. And then I was like, so. Like, fucking hit them up. They'll pack the house. Which was true because you guys were doing, like, big shows at, like, the house and stuff. And they wouldn't let us play because we were too vulgar.
We weren't playing shows at the house, dude. we were repeating the same 45-minute set for 8 hours at the house. And I'm sure the patrons fucking hated it. And we got fired eventually. But we made, like, a band at the house.
Yeah,
it was not a bad
I was going to say,
gig.
you can make a lot of money doing that, though.
We made enough to buy our own PA. Like,
which is sitting in the garage right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have it. But I remember when we put you on, you ended up being the one that stayed around for some reason. Like, you would show up with your friends, and then they all left, and then we get done, and there's Braydon and Ethan still hanging out. Yeah. So when that band ended up becoming more realized later on, it was you, me, and Colton.
Yeah, and we played some killer shows, mainly in Flagstaff. We had a little
hot streak
in Flagstaff. It was a good time.
Yeah, we did
first house show.
3 of the best shows that I've ever played.
Yeah,
still I would put those up there like top 10 ever. What do you think is the worst show you've ever played?
Dude, there's so many. We played a lot of shows. Like it might not seem like it, but we as a band had played a lot of shows in the last fucking 6 years. I think the worst one though.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say that. It's too personal. I think there's been so many of us just playing to empty rooms. And a lot of the time that's really bad, but it can also be very fun because it seems
there's no one there.
inconsequential.
Yeah.
Inconsequential.
I think that negative 32 taught me how to reframe my mindset because I kind of I had to pivot a little bit before we get back to like it being funny and lighthearted. But like when negative 32 started, it was different. And then when negative 32 restarted, it was a different band. And I think the initial go around though, like was a whole lot of, like I based my self-worth off of things like that, where it's like, this is a not good show because there's not a lot of people here. The second go around with it taught me to reframe my mindset where I was like, there are not a lot of people here, but that's an opportunity for us to practice in front of people. Like you're practicing everything from like your stage presence to transitions.
There are other bands that'll sit there and watch you and critique your shit and give you honest feedback, and that's also really helpful.
Yeah.
Especially when we were on tour.
Yeah. Well, you're playing from mostly empty rooms. And so if you're that band member or like that group of people that doesn't sit and watch the locals, there's no one watching their set. And then there's no one watching your set. So you build like camaraderie that way. And also like, it's like etiquette almost in a way. But I was going to go from like, we can go from the life and the death of negative 32 because a lot of people are going to be a little bit shocked that we're sitting here talking because we haven't talked in a while. But for me, the genesis of like what became negative 32 was like heavily rooted in like mental health.
Avoidance behavior.
And I remember, so we got through like safety school, and then when safety school had run its course, like you were writing songs that weren't done. And I was we didn't have a drummer. So I was like, I play bass typically. I learned how to play drums for safety school. Yeah. I was like, we'll put it together, and then we'll have you, Colton, and I do safety school. And it was like one of the most, it's such a weird time to look back on because it feels like it feels like such a missed opportunity in a way. You know what I mean? Like we really had something right there. And then the world was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, we didn't come back to it with the same motivation that we had the first time.
We were changed people. It was years.
Yeah. But when negative 32 came back around or back into the fold, I remember us sitting and like literally rotting inside of our houses. And I was by myself for most of the pandemic. And then I reached out to you and I was like, hey, do you want to do this? And you're like, not really. And then I talked to Joe. Joe was like he was kind of on the fence, but he was like, I don't know, like we'll see what the world looks like when it's not over. Yeah. And then I remember reaching out to you and being like, dog, you have too much talent, or like there's so much potential for you to sit and fucking die in your bedroom. And so I was like, if we did it and gave it an honest go, we could actually do something. And then I'll be goddamned if we didn't fucking do something.
Did something, dude.
Did something.
We kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Kind of ate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think, though, like we get through all these different, there's been so many trials and tribulations. And then, I don't know, there's this cute little part of this band's saga that I don't talk about a whole lot is where I quit. And then we get back to it, and negative 32 is done. So, which is like, it in a way, at first it was like, I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to talk about it the way that I was feeling. I wanted it to seem more optimistic. But at the end of the day, when it gets down to it, I think, I don't know, there's not really a music project for me that doesn't have you in it.
I could kiss you on the mouth.
In front. I don't know. What would you say though about like your stance on like, or I guess give me another brief description of your time with negative 32.
Best years of my life thus far. I've made friends for the rest of my life doing this. I've met people that I would have never met if not for being in this band or that band. I've pushed my creative boundaries. I have achieved things that I never thought that I would. Even if I had never thought about them before, it's still special. And I feel like that band had a real community.
Yeah.
There were people who were at every show.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's solidified bonds too. Like I've said of several people, not I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast before, but it's like, think of who would you want to be in a car with at 3:00 in the morning in the middle of nowhere. That answers your question though. Like it answers it for you. And like there was a time for a really long stretch of time that it was just you and I in the car at 4:00 in the morning driving
or
home.
in the hotel room and everybody's asleep, or we fucking take a walk, or we're kind of just in it together. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It does it does a thing for you though, because you're like, you don't actually think about, like, most of the people in your life, you don't realize that, oh, this is the person I want to be stuck in a car with.
Yeah.
You don't, because you never have been, and you probably wouldn't even think about it, honestly. But like when you do actually experience that, I think Negative 32 is a very special thing. But I think collectively we can decide that it was very special. It was great, and then we can shake hands with it and let it be perfect for what it was.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it was beautiful.
I don't know. What's next for you, Braden?
I don't know. I gotta get like a real job, dude.
Yeah, me too.
I can't be
Redacted.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I applied at Intel. I don't know shit about superconductors, man.
You could be like a software engineer or something.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could be. I don't even have a PC.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe when all this is done, I'll send you like a friend request or something, and we'll go from there. I think at the end of the day, when we now that you and I have sat and talked it out and we've hashed it out, we got to the point, like the porn.
We got to the porn.
We got to the point where we understand like what's important, and at the end of the day, the music thing was great, but I think that the music thing works best when it's a happy byproduct of just being buddies.
Exactly.
And if anything ever comes from that, then that's exactly what it'll be. It's just going to be a nice byproduct of people being buddies with each other. But I would like to point out this podcast, and maybe it's like I'm saying, I don't work well by myself, I don't think. I've been doing this podcast by myself for a little bit. This is the first time I've had you on. I know that people like you. I don't know that people like me all that much because, like I said, I've been doing all these podcasts. I'm not getting a whole lot of, I'm not getting any ad revenue. Yeah. And so, I've written ads and stuff, but I think what I need is maybe if you wouldn't mind, I wrote a couple ads.
Okay.
And if I could have you read them and then just workshop it around. It doesn't have to be specifically we're using placeholder companies, but they're kind of oddly on the nose. Yeah. But nothing too heavy, nothing too serious.
So this is you pitching yourself to companies?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to, maybe I'll make it out the hood with this. We'll just, I'll have you read a couple ads. I'll see what people think. Maybe it'll find the right audience, and we can, I'll get somewhere with it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to cut this.
Okay. Straight into it.
Yeah, but put on kind of an announcer voice a little bit, like you're reading.
Mr. Anderson.
No, maybe just regular voice, but more more salesman-y. Hey, today's episode is
customer service.
Yeah, customer service voice.
I have a shit customer service voice, by the way. I don't get paid enough for that.
It's okay. I think people will eat this up.
Today's episode is brought to you by Burger King. What better way to enjoy a burger that tastes like plastic and artificial smoke than to do it in a dirty lobby next to a single mother with no teeth trying to wrangle her screaming, dirt-faced children? If you want fast food that will come questionably fast and is barely food, then this is the place for you. Here's some food for thought. Food was in quotations, by the way. When is the last time you went to a Burger King? Honestly, when? You don't know. You don't go to Burger King. You end up there. That's what's so great. You may be asking yourself, what's this stuff and why is it so cheap? Well, that's our secret. Just swallow it and shut the fuck up. Burger King, have it your way.
That was good. I'm
There's
hungry.
a tag. Hold on. Come for the food, stay for the white trash, and bathroom graffiti. God damn. I think I'm developing a speech impediment.
That was good. That was good. Come for the food, stay for the white trash, and bathroom graffiti. Because, like, what else? Honestly, when you go to
I've only ever been to the Burger King in Show Low.
it's like that.
Yeah, but they just remodeled it.
They
So who
remodeled them
knows?
to look like that.
Oh.
I went
more
to one,
white trash.
Yeah, I went to the one in. Do you know where Whiskey A Go Go is? You been to Whiskey A Go Go? It's like a clothing store.
No.
Oh, well, I went to the one. There's one. Well, I think it might be the only one actually. It used to be next to. Yeah, you went.
We went there together.
Yeah, the Yucca Tap Room. There's a Burger King in the West. Well, it moved across the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Burger King in the parking lot, and I had to pee really bad. And so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just go there." But there's like codes on the bathroom, and you have to like push a button. It's like a fucking hospital. You have to like push a button from like behind the register that like buzzes the door.
Yeah.
Most horrific experience I think I've ever had, and people were in there eating, and I'm like, dude, this is barely habitable. Like, first off, the entire fucking customer base was like awful rodents, and then
Rodents, dude?
yes, and then the people who worked there were also terrible, rude, and I'm like, dude, I had to
dude.
buy fucking French fries so that I could pee, and then I got in the car with my cold French fries, and I was like, absolutely goddamn not. I can't tell you though, other than that, the last time I went to a Burger King, and I think most people would probably say the same.
I think the last time I went to a Burger King, it was with
Redacted.
When was that?
in high school, or like the year that I graduated high school, I think.
Damn. So yeah, we're talking.
Because the kid bought like 600 fucking chicken nuggets, and he was like, come help me eat these chicken nuggets.
Yeah, well,
That was the last
that was
time I went
another
to a Burger
thing.
King.
Why? How the hell were they selling 20 nuggets for $1.50 when we were in high school? What the fuck is in those?
Dude, I really couldn't tell you. I think it's mostly just bone.
So I think what we're maybe I'm not making a good pitch. It sounds like maybe I need to.
No, the pitch was great.
Oh, okay.
Just everything after when you went into explanation about it, I think that's probably gonna throw them off.
So I need to work a different angle, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's try
A lower angle, maybe.
I have one more, if you wouldn't mind. Maybe you could.
You want me to read another?
You could read this one. Maybe this one. Fair point. I wrote the Burger King one today. I also wrote this one today. I think this one's a little bit better, and maybe this will be what gets me some ad revenue.
Maybe.
Go for it.
Are you anything like I used to be? A miserable, fat, fucking dumbass? Or maybe you're just as sick as I am of having to look at grown adults with arm dimples who grunt when they stand up. Whether it's the COVID-19 epidemic or the epidemic of loud-breathing lard asses who make traveling on public transit a literal goddamn nightmare, doctors are working around the clock to improve the lives of those with the fats. Now, thanks to Ozempic, the horrors of obesity are a thing of the past. With a simple prick of a small needle into your enormous gut, poof, you'll be looking normal in no time. Ask your doctor if Ozempic is right for you. Thanks, Ozempic. Sponsored by Ozempic.
Yeah, this is
I do think that one's better.
use promo code Visceral Musings at checkout. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know how you get Ozempic.
Oh shit! I like that one. Was a lot funnier to hear you. I read it to you and your.
It's because I used to be a fat fucking dumbass, a fat fucking lard ass dumbass.
It came from the heart. It came from a place of general of like vulnerability and honestly.
No, if I ever see
Honesty.
success in any form of media, this episode of this specific podcast is gonna come back and bite me in the balls.
No, you can attribute this episode of this podcast to your success, and then they'll be like, "Where did it all start for you?" And you're like, "Well, I was 23 years old," and then boom, here you go.
Yeah, I was
Boom.
23 years old, starving,
Starving artist.
hungry. No, I was gonna say something about the bathrooms at work.
Oh, okay.
I want to say this before I take this shot, because I am gonna take a shot of Fireball right now.
And then we'll go to the potty break, and we'll come back and talk about Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be so nice. So basically, I don't use the bathrooms at my work because the homeless men that hang out at my work own those toilets.
Oh,
So I'll piss in there, but if I have to shit at work, I will wait out an 8-hour shift because That's not my toilet.
Did you ever come home like crowning?
No,
Like,
not yet. But today was close.
oh man.
I had to shit about 2 hours into my 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Not very good.
I drank profusely when our friend Mark came and visited us, right?
Yeah.
And I had to work in the morning. So I get to work, again, same company, redacted. And we get in, I get there and I drank so much water because I was very hungover. And then I was like, man, I got to pee. I walk in to pee and the toilet has human feces on the front of the bowl, like the curved part of the front of the bowl.
Like, how do people fuck it up that bad?
How
and
did
not
you do
clean
that?
up after? I mean, I guess you can't really clean up very well in a
Redacted.
bathroom because there's nothing to dry your fucking hands with. What's
That's
the deal
true.
with that?
There's also like the only thing I can think of is like either you shat and it like you did it on the front of the bowl and then it just like slugged or
No, dude, it was
all
a
the way down.
ricochet.
Or they shit and fell forward and had not wiped their butt yet and then stood up but like dragged their ass across the front of the toilet seat and then back. I don't know. I can't even explain it, dude. Or not even the seat. The bowl. The bowl had shit on it. How?
I don't know.
Fish out of water.
They were standing. That's the best I could come up with. Have you ever projectile shat?
Shitted? No.
Shitted?
I have never projectile shitted.
I guess most of the time when I'm shitting, I'm like sitting down on a toilet, so I really don't know.
Yeah. That's a good time to be locked in. Like,
Yeah.
No monkey business.
I'm never locked in. It's always monkey business when I'm on the toilet. That's my that's my alone time. That's where I find peace.
You start playing tiddlywinks as soon as you sit down to shit.
I wouldn't call it tiddlywinks. I would call it.
You get the zoomies.
No, I get on my phone.
Oh, and then you're giggling.
Yeah, or your cat is sitting in my literal boxers,
Yeah.
and I try to walk out with the boxers and the cat at the same time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel it.
She gets me every
It's like
time.
a hammock for
Yeah.
a cat.
Yeah, she loves it in there.
All right. Well, so concludes the first half of this episode. We're going to go to the potty break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Stick around, folks. Hello and welcome to another potty break. If you've listened to Visceral Musings before, then you know that this is the midway point of the episode. And if you enjoyed those ads, although I did not present them to you, I did write them, and here's another one. Subscribe to Visceral Musings over on the YouTube channel if you're listening for free. I want you to fondle that subscription button and slap the ass of that like button. Also, follow us on Instagram at Visceral Musings Pod. Follow my personal Instagram at That Roller Pig, and be sure to leave us a 5-star review if you're listening over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. Be sure to leave us a good review. Also, I just want to chime back on a point that I made a couple episodes back about stickers. I do have the stickers in the works. They will be ready sooner rather than later, and I'm so excited to present them to you. It's going to have artwork from Allison Tippett, who's one of my homies, and I can't wait for you guys to slap them on whatever you want to slap them on. Anyway, let's get right back to this episode of Visceral Musings.
Brazzers ass beat.
Yeah. Pornhub community type shit. Yeah.
Weren't you verified?
I was verified for a little bit. Verified member of the community. So my first, usually what I like to do is, announce what we're talking about, which is, we're talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
The best movie ever.
One of the best movies ever made. But I actually missed a question because we were going on some like sentimental bullshit about what we used to do in our old band or whatever. But one of the things that I've noticed about you that's kind of it's been a mainstay is that you're one of the few people that I know who's genuinely obsessed with movies. And you always have been. Are movies something that you get creative inspiration from, or is it something that you use to help yourself like gain perspective or like appreciation through visual storytelling?
Oh no, both. I think gaining that appreciation for visual storytelling, especially just perspective and seeing different people's perspective of the same thing sometimes, really does inspire me to think that I like can say something of substance from where I'm sitting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, like, until I watched like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think nihilism was always, in a sense, it was always portrayed as like sort of a negative thing.
Yeah.
And then seeing two different combating, like it was a fight between two different perspectives of nihilism, where like at the end of it, I'm like, damn, Nothing matters.
Nothing matters, and I love it.
And I like
I'm
that.
free.
Yeah, which means you're free to write whatever story you want to write. Yeah. So getting back to like the topic of this episode, which is it's a reconciliation with a prior idea, which was like I've written 2 different episodes about Scott Pilgrim versus the World and done neither of them, and then today we're getting back to it. This is in a way I feel like we're slowly but surely getting back on track to where we probably should have been about 8 months ago.
Yeah.
But with that being said, why do you give such a shit about Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
It gets me.
Yeah.
It just fucking gets me, dude. I think Edgar Wright is really tapped in with the type of humor that Gen Z loves, which is kind of absurdist, really quick comedy and shit that you don't have to ask questions about. Shit that's just funny because it happened.
Yeah. It's the blueprint.
It's really the blueprint. I think he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
When he made not only this, but all of his other movies, Hot Fuzz, fucking crazy. Like, I think
Shaun
about
of
that
the
movie, Shaun of the Dead. They're stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
But Scott Pilgrim, something about it feels so meticulous. Like, you can tell that people put so much love into this movie.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it. Like, the first time you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is a goofy movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good time. The second, third, fourth, 10th time that you watch this movie, you learn something new every single time. You see a detail that you didn't notice before every single time, and I think that's awesome.
It was something that like, because I mean, I've talked about a lot of movies before doing this one. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is in like my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
I can watch it.
Any day, any time of day. I watched it today.
Yeah.
I was like, I know how long this movie is. If I block out X amount of time, I can throw it on and then get reacquainted with it. I already had my notes done, and I like watching it. But yeah, I was gonna say one of the things with this one, like, because I don't usually pick apart the nuances of like filmmaking, but Edgar Wright he did like Ant-Man. He did the Ant-Man movie. He does this thing that I think doesn't always translate to like mainstream like spectacle shit, because he does practicality and pairs it with multiple camera angles.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the fight scenes in Scott Pilgrim versus the World are done like an old karate movie or like kung fu movie where he puts dust on the actors, and when they fight, the dust comes off their clothes, and just like simple shit like that. That like now, if you didn't know that, when you watch the movie, you'll be like, "There's the dust." When he fights Matthew Patel, he does a thing where he's like and blows the dust off both sides of his jacket, and dust goes everywhere.
So good.
Yeah, genius shit. Or one of my other favorite things that he does in this movie with like playing with practical effects and stuff is he mimicked a Japanese game show. And it happens at the end of the movie where there's like a split screen where all of the characters react to Scott's death at the same time with a different backdrop.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that scene.
That's one of my favorite shots in the whole movie.
Yeah. And so all I did was I just wrote down 8-bit universal intro. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It gets me excited.
Yeah. I know exactly where it's going. As soon as it comes on, I can feel myself getting like excited about it. And I've watched every version of this movie that you could possibly watch. I watched with commentary with the cast, commentary with Edgar Wright. I've watched the pop-up trivia versions of it. I've watched the gag reels. I've seen it all, and I still am intrigued by it, and I still want to read more about it. I watched there was a time when they were coming back for Scott Pilgrim Takes Off that they did the reading.
Yeah.
Watch that. There's not even a fucking visual to it. You're just watching them on Zoom read the script, and I watch that too because I fucking love it. But anyway, drawing back to a question from earlier, which is exactly what I just asked you when we started here. What's the influence and the this movie's emotional impact that it's had on you, whether it's creatively or like another one of those introspective like perspective? Oh shit, Champ's.
Oh, hey, Champ.
Yeah, Champ's barking.
I wonder who's home.
Somebody's home. Oh yeah, we live together, by the way.
I don't know. I think make it fun. Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun and let your fun push your creativity. Make it a labor of love. Do things because you know that they will pan out to satisfy your like need to see it pan out, you know?
Yeah. And it's not like it was the most expensive movie of all time.
It was kind of cheap.
Yeah.
They did a lot of like just practical shit.
Yeah, it comes from like not only respect for like the source material, but also just like it feels like complete and utter like admiration, which is like at the time it was popular, but like because of the movie, both are infinitely more popular than they probably ever would have imagined that they were going to be. But I just wrote down that the imagery and the dialogue has been burned into my head for so many years.
When did this movie come out?
2007?
2010.
Yeah. And I think
Okay, that was like right after my parents had gotten divorced, and I remember the first time I ever watched this movie.
Yeah.
It was with my dad, and nobody fucked with it. Nobody liked the movie at all. After we had watched it, everybody was hating on the shit, and I was like, guys, that's the best thing I've ever seen. What do you mean? That was so fun.
Yeah. It probably made you feel good too because your parents had just gotten divorced. It's a really rough time, but also I think it was probably harder on you because it was entirely directly your fault.
Yeah, I mean,
your parents were young and in love, and then you come along and you managed to dismantle that entire union.
I was a shit ass baby, dude.
It's true.
I really haven't grown out of it, but they still both won't fuck with me, dude. Like
Oh
they have
my
nothing
God.
to do with me.
Yeah. You know what I said the other day that nobody else would have gotten or thought was funny? I said, bro, my dick is so ass.
My dick is so ass. I'm shitting out my ass.
I'm shitting poop out my ass.
Shitting poop out my ass was a good time.
I was shitting poop for a week.
Yeah. We've all been there, I think.
Unfortunately, I've been there several times. Not at work though. Somebody shat poop on the toilet seat or on the toilet.
Fucking
on the
damn,
on the
You
turlet.
gotta be dying to make that sort of mistake and not feel guilty about it.
Turlet burl.
Turtle burr.
Yeah, fuck that.
You just did a millennial
Turlet.
humor thing.
That's
That's the thing.
You could you could give me your best mwahaha. Okay. So
I've been speaking in anime voices.
Oh my god.
I got Ali today with the
You remember when there was this fucking I don't remember what it was, like a TikTok audio where he was like I don't want to do it into a microphone, but I used to do it into your ear all the time. It's this
Yeah.
No, it was the your little pussy belongs to me.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
You're gonna
Sound like Batman. Everybody at my work tells me I look like Batman.
You do. You look like Christian Bale.
Where is she?
There you go. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I've been practicing
Where's the trigger?
for the cosplay. I'm going to Comic-Con next year dressed as Christopher Nolan Batman.
You should be Christopher Nolan Batman. Yeah, that would work. But you could also do, I think, Patrick Bateman, American Psycho.
I gotta get fit though. Like for Batman, the suit covers it up, but American
That's
Psycho,
true.
he's just fucking ripped. He is lean as hell in that movie.
Yeah, you know, I knew something was wrong with me mentally when I got hard.
You found out that you were gay because
Yeah.
you watched American Psycho and you were hard the whole time.
But I wanted to fuck his speech impediment so bad. I'm like, why is his lisp so goddamn sexy?
In the fucking the scene where they're like matching their cards, their business cards, and he gets those little beads of sweat on his forehead. That shit awoke something in me. I'll tell you what.
Let me get that.
I would fuck a clone of myself.
You think so?
Yeah,
We had a friend who masturbated to himself, his own reflection.
yeah, like live. He didn't even take a picture, nothing, just live, like bedroom closet
in
mirror.
real time.
Yeah,
That's like
still
literally
a baller move. I told
Yeah.
him at the time that was crazy, but
that's self-empowering now.
yeah,
Now that
It
my
seems
body
like
looks how it does now.
instead of like waking up and looking in the mirror and giving yourself daily affirmations, just beat your fucking meat.
Yeah. And maintain like solid eye contact?
I mean, just look yourself up and down. Really absorb the whole thing.
Yeah, take the whole thing in.
I think that's self-love.
In a literal sense of the word, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say originally was like there's certain instances of this movie that like are just burned into my head, and like the light switch scene where he slides over to Ramona with the crushed cup and he goes to talk to her. The light switch being way up, like
It's so goofy.
no one can reach it.
No one can reach that light. They'll have to reach for
Yeah.
the light switch, but
It'd
it
be like
becomes
a-
a gag
Yeah.
in the transition.
I put it on par for me, like personally, fucking the Under the Moonlight from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like the curling hill, like the roll, like
and
literal.
it comes
yeah.
out at the end.
I bought everything that I could that had that on it. You know, did Scott Pilgrim the same?
I think that's another sign, like especially stop motion movies like that. I love stop motion.
Yeah, me too.
It's a labor of love. You really have to care a lot to bring that kind of shit to life.
Yeah.
And that I think Scott Pilgrim almost feels like it's animated
Yeah.
because everything is so meticulous.
Yeah, there's alliteration or like the onomatopoeia, stuff like
And
that.
it just they do it so well. The cast was so killer. Can we talk about the cast?
Oh yeah,
'Cause-
this is your my show. It's your episode. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, that's one of my favorite things about this movie in particular is looking back on where everybody in the cast, most everybody in the cast was at their careers.
Yeah.
In that moment in time, and they have just exceeded. Like that was really like their freshman year.
Yeah,
You think about it.
yeah. I don't think that they could have. There's no one that they could have swapped out that would have been more perfect for any role.
Any of them.
No.
They were perfectly casted.
Yeah,
Wallace is one of my, what is it, Kieran Culkin?
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite casting choices ever made.
Yeah.
And I have not seen him in any other movie. And
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine because that's the perfect role. He did it. He did the thing.
is his fucking Chris Evans is Lucas Lee. I fucking love that. Actually, so the next part that I had written down was just some of the lines from the movie that were like so fucking quotable. But Chris Evans, when that's actually hilarious. His
Yeah.
fucking Lucas Lee voice is so good when he's like, "I'm more than pretty good, SA."
Yeah.
Got my own skate brand. I fucking love that. And then Wallace when he says, "What a perfect asshole."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good. I just wrote down like just taglines from the. Well, the name of the episode. So you don't know yet, but the name of the episode is Peaches and Gravy. Sexy laundry. That's another good one. That's milk and eggs, bitch. I just cashed my last rain check, darling. Chris Evans dialing a phone with a gun when he walks up to
Yeah.
the payphone and like hits it with the fucking gun.
fucking FX made for TV movie.
Yeah.
So badass.
She's got some battle scars, dude. What else do I have? Getting blazed back in my Winnie. So I let him do the wide shots when I feel like getting blazed back in my Winnie.
A lot of them are Christopher.
I wanted to be. Oh, I'm getting back to the interview, but I wanted to be one of these characters, or I wanted to be best friends with these characters. So, who do you think that you identify with the most?
Oh, Aubrey Plaza's character. What's her name?
Julie.
Oh yeah, thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, I kind of feel like Julie sometimes. She's no bullshit, dude. She knows people. She knows their shortcomings. She knows
Yeah.
what they're good at. She's kind of a bitch when it comes to the ex-girlfriend, and she's like fawning over this girl.
Yeah.
Envy Adams.
Yeah, she's kind of not a ride or
She's
die.
kind of
though.
riding Envy Adams, but she's no bullshit. I like her.
I think that your customer service and Julie's customer service is pretty on point. At
The
least,
fuck do you want?
yeah. I thought when I was so if you were a character from the movie, I'd put you at somewhere in between Scott Pilgrim and Young Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like I've been young Neil for a number of years of my life, not consecutive.
Yeah, I think that sometimes you're tragically Bredo, and that's kind of how Scott is too. He's tragically Scott, where they're like,
But you know what he does? He
Scott.
embraces it.
yeah. Well, at least you don't lean into that. Like he's in a denial constantly throughout the movie, where he's like he has no admission of guilt or fault. Where he like that's kind of one of the
He's going insane.
yeah. The whole time I'm watching the movie, I the more I've watched the movie too. Real quick, I put that I was somewhere between Wallace Wells and Stephen Stills.
I think Steven Stills does a number on you. I think
Yeah.
that's really good.
Or I mean, I might be more. Julie.
I want to be Steven Stills. That's the thing. Is like I want to be that guy who just like for the band.
Yeah.
For the band.
For the band, Scott.
A gig is a gig is a gig is a gig.
And he's stressed the fuck out, and
Yeah.
I'm always stressed
Because
the
this is
fuck out.
life or death for him.
Yeah, but I think Wallace too, because Wallace, especially if you seen Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Yeah.
Wallace is just an asshole And
Yeah, he's the best.
yeah, that's me. I think I might be kind of Wallace, but Wallace is like I think Wallace and I have the same thing where it's like he gets a pass because he at least makes people laugh sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I kind of am Scott Pilgrim, though.
yeah, and I think I might. That's kind of our dynamic, I guess. Is you're Scott and I'm Wallace.
Yeah, but you're like straight.
Yeah,
You're like kind of straight, though.
I wish I was. Well, like I mean, I'm not saying that I like. I mean,
I kind of wish you were gay, too.
I wish I was gay. I do wish I was gay. I've always wished that I was gay. Not as a kid, but as an adult. I'm like, fuck me. I've been chasing bisexual women my entire adult career, and I should have been just a gay man. That's what I was born to be. But
That's what you were going for the whole time.
In my soul, in deep within me, there is a sassy gay man, and a bitchy gay man, more accurately,
or an older black woman, depending on the way that you look at it.
Testify. I like that.
Church.
Okay. Church. What's worse, having to kill 7 of your new girlfriend's exes or making out immediately after pounding a loaf of garlic bread?
I think the garlic bread, actually, I'd be into that.
Really?
I have been into that. I love aromatics in the bedroom.
I would kiss Ramona Flowers after she eats literally anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could.
And I think we all have our own Ramona Flowers. But also, my girlfriend doesn't have 7 exes. I don't think anybody that I know besides you has 7 exes.
Oh, fuck.
I fucking got you. We counted them out.
Imagine if if I assemble, well, it's not me, but if my exes assembled a league to kill you.
Yeah, fucking right, dude.
Yeah, it would be a pretty easy list for you to run through.
Bunch of fat midgets.
Yeah, I mean, I have a type. We know. I think this girlfriend that I have now is the only time that I haven't dated like a really overweight midget or
That's not true.
or like somebody just like impaled or like involved in some kind of horrible accident. Like that's my type. I like someone who can't get away. You know, like Kathy Bates. That kind of, what's that movie called?
Oh,
the hostage situation.
yeah.
type
Dude,
thing.
I don't know what the movie's called, but that shit freaked me out when I saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that was my first direction that I ever got.
Can you imagine though if somebody just liked your fucking podcast so much that they kidnapped you and demanded to tell them like what was on the next episode though?
Oh, that is my ideal situation.
What the fuck? What the fuck is the name of that movie?
I can't think.
I can't
of it
Google it either.
My phone's right here actually.
Yeah, me too.
It's got to be like it's not.
It's a Stephen King thing.
Yeah, Kathy Bates, the fucking the hostage movie thing. I think it's called Hostages.
No, that's a different
can't
movie.
be it. But Kathy Bates is in a movie called.
I love Kathy Bates,
Hostages.
by the way. She's in a lot of good shit.
Yeah, she's honestly like. She's kind of underrated in a way because she was. I think the problem is that she was in so many things that like you constantly see her, but so you kind of forget. Like she has so many movies that you forget that she's actually
She's like actually
some,
capable of performing.
Yeah, she's in some really good shit. But anyway, back to the point because I'm not gonna be able to find it. But also, if you're listening to the podcast and you think that I'm sure all of my ex-girlfriends listen to the podcast.
Yeah, they're obsessed with you.
There is, it was a joke.
Fucking narcissist.
I don't think I've ever dated, the closest I've ever gotten to dating a midget might have been, just one of them was under 5 foot.
Yeah.
Redacted.
I'll cut part of this out. Where was I? What was I even talking about?
Talking about art.
Some of the questionable choices in the movie. So again, they eat garlic bread and then they're immediately making out. Right, and
Preach.
then, but
Sure.
he just met this woman too,
And he has a girlfriend that's underage.
and he has a girlfriend that's underage.
This is really not your protagonist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's the main character of the movie, but you're not supposed to be like sympathetic towards him. I watched the movie. I want him to eat shit. He does.
Yeah, but the other part that I thought was kind of like I just thought of this earlier today. He punches Matthew Patel in the face 46 times immediately after Wallace tells him to fight. Yeah, he gets a 46 hit combo before he even knows why they're fighting. He's
Badass.
He doesn't go on the defensive at all. He immediately starts punching this Indian pirate in the face.
And would you do?
I don't know. Well, I mean, obviously it's like an exaggerated cartoony fight, but like I don't know that I would punch somebody in the face 46 times immediately after they're just like, we have beef. And then, I don't know.
But the thing is, Matthew Patel, like,
He has a very punchable personality.
Not only that,
Yeah.
he kept going. That
That's
wasn't
true.
the end of the fight. That was like a 3-minute long fight scene.
Right, yeah. And the part where he sings,
Oh, so good.
yeah.
If you want to fight me,
You're not the brightest.
tell him, Maddie.
What else do I have? There's going to be
Hipster demon chicks.
I'm gonna call it that there's gonna be a little gap where we're missing context, and that's for a good reason. We went off the rails a little bit, but we're back to our regularly scheduled program. So I just wrote the soundtrack. The fucking soundtrack. Is impeccable.
It opened my eyes to a lot of music that had been sitting there Edgar Wright has incredible taste in everything. I fucking love that man. He's practically fucking taught me how to appreciate art in a sort of way.
Yeah.
Fucking T-Rex.
Isn't
Teenage Dream.
Yeah.
Beck doing
the entire
so much of the soundtrack.
Well, the original music.
All of the original music, but like so much of the actual soundtrack. That is one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard.
I think so too. I was gonna say Edgar Wright did Baby Driver, right? Too.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fucking Zebra.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does, and the appreciate. He's also really into like King Gizzard. Like he followed them around the UK on their tour.
Damn.
And do you follow him on Instagram?
No.
Okay, so he'll also like post pictures of physical copies of every single movie that he watched in the last week or month or however many days it's been since he last made a post. Right. He's so sick.
I appreciated when I first got into Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It was through my cousin and her then boyfriend, and I remember that there was this CD that was just it wasn't the soundtrack, but it was. I mean, I guess it was. It wasn't like the original score, but it was like all the songs from the movie, like the full length versions of them. So it had like all of the Sex Bomb songs. So I know
so good.
I knew them. Like when I was watching this one, like when I watched Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, I was like mostly stoked for new Sex Bomb because I was like, yo, they wrote new shit for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the anime song that they picked, it's like I think it's from an anime maybe, I don't know. But
Plum Tree.
Plum Tree.
I love Plum Tree.
He wears a Plum Tree shirt in that.
I would have never known about that band if not for this movie.
Oh,
but
really?
Honestly, I've listened to all of their records front to back on Spotify, so I don't know if that's everything that they ever released. He wears a sick ass Plum Tree t-shirt.
It's that red and it's like yellow with red writing on it, right?
Yeah, it's so sick. I've been looking for that t-shirt, but I can't find them like that are quality and in my size.
He also wore a Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt for like a big chunk of the movie. Yeah,
he got the Sharpie t-shirt. My sister got me that Sharpie t-shirt. Did you see that?
Yeah, that one's good.
Pretty good.
I loved his rock band bass, the bass headstock. That one was one of my other favorites. But what I was getting at though is like the metric song that's in it. Like there's two different versions, right? Yeah, I didn't know that until some kid that I worked with, actually at your girlfriend's store. She was playing it, but it said like Brie Larson's version of it, and I was like, I didn't realize that there was two separate versions of it. To be honest with you,
you can sing.
I only know the Brie Larson version.
Yeah, it's a real Metric is a real band.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how some of these bands must feel knowing that their music is like their entire fan base or like what they're going to be known for the entirety of their career is just that one movie.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim
Brie
versus
Larson
the world.
did it better.
I think so too. I also was just like strangely attracted to like Brie Larson as
You're strangely attracted to fucking everybody.
It's true.
You're horny, dude. That's it.
I can't help it. I'm like tragically horny.
You are a closeted bisexual man.
That's right. I'm not. I'm bi-furious. God damn it. The score. That's what I was gonna say. The original songs that they wrote for the Sex Bomb part of it were supposed to be bad. Like they were intentionally supposed to be bad, and they were fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I saw that shit at a local Phoenix show, if I saw that shit in Mesa, the Nile Underground, I would I would be so on that band.
Yeah. And especially if, like, say that you and I were playing a show and there was a band on the same bill called Sex Bomb, I would be so fucking pissed
Like
off that that
we're not Sex
didn't-
Bomb, but also
we didn't come up with it.
also like it's pretty cool that we're in the fucking like in the aerospace
in the know.
about this
Yeah.
fucking awesome band, you know?
Yeah.
I felt like that a couple of times.
I'll get there, actually. Number 8 on my list of questions about Scott Pilgrim. It's not really a question, but the cutaway gags are another thing that I really, really appreciate, which is like Julie when she cusses, just a recurring gag of her like expletives being
How do you do
censored.
that?
Yeah, how do you do that with your mouth? Never mind how I fucking do it. The Seinfeld scene is my favorite, though.
Oh my god, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, the applause.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I had to explain that. I had to explain that scene to my sister because she was like, I was like, it's a sitcom. It's literally Seinfeld. It's literally a scene straight out of Seinfeld, and it's awesome.
Guess who got to second base last night? Well, maybe first and a half. Yeah. And then when Wallace is leaving, I caught this earlier when he's like, yeah, you might be able to get to second and a half base tonight.
No, but when he closes the door and then he opens the door and he's wearing a different outfit and the crowd fucking applause. Yeah. Oh my god, that's such a good scene.
I was gonna say before I get to my final thoughts on Scott Pilgrim versus the World, there was a thing that I've noticed, which is, and like this episode is not about Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, but the way that they do Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, it changes the story in a way where it tells the story again from a different perspective, which is like it's more about Ramona than it is about Scott. I'm not going to talk about that one because there's a lot to unpack with it, but I've noticed the older I've gotten that well, first off, like you talked about like how this was a movie that you discovered like while your parents were going through a divorce, which is like hilarious. No, I'm just kidding. It's like it's more like something that like it found you at the right time where you're like this resonates with me, this gets me. And like I found it when I was about, I want to say maybe 13 or 14 years old, the first time I like ever watched it. And I never laughed at movies like that, like that I could remember, because it was like a lot of the things that I was watching, like granted, I grew up with older people. So like a lot of the things that were coming out at the time when I was a kid were like,
Hurt Locker.
No, like The Hot Chick or like Austin Powers. And like, I don't get me wrong.
I love white chicks. I love that kind of humor.
Powers. Yes, but that was aimed at people that were older than me, like people that are maybe 10 years older than me. And so I'm like a kid watching these movies with my mom and my sister and like my older brother. Well, my older brother was into different shit. Beside the point. When I found Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I was like, I saw these characters that were maybe like a little bit older than me, and I was like, I fucking love this. Like this feels like relevant to me and where I was at. And then it also set this like this expectation for like, this is what I want to be, or like these are the people that I want to fucking hang out with when I'm 22. Like seemed like
and honestly
away.
we kind of did that.
Kind of did a little bit.
A lot of the movie is just about being in a band.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like the point of the movie, but a lot of the movie focuses around that band and their chemistry.
Yeah.
And
also, Scott Pilgrim kind of shits the bed at the end too.
Oh yeah, dude, he's a piece of shit.
He's not a good friend, and he's not really a good like bandmate.
Person.
Yeah,
he's hilarious. Just because he doesn't care about a lot, but
yeah. But I love him. Like he's like a dude that like, why do we keep him around? Like
he's like the worst part of yourself.
Yeah, like why is Scott still hanging out with us? It's like, because he's our buddy. He's like, isn't he a piece of shit? He's like, yeah, but
he plays bass.
He's our buddy. He plays bass. Like that's him. Maybe we have a Scott. We've had Scotts in the past, I'm sure.
We've had young Neils.
Definitely young Neils. Ben Young is our young Neil. Young Ben.
Yeah, he kind of is though.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you were gonna say something about like tagging off of that, like significance of like when it found you, because I've been able to revisit it. And what I was going to say is, like, each time I revisit the movie, I find usually something more negative about a character that I liked when I first started watching it, because now that I'm older and I'm like, I've been able to hang out with these people. Like initially I was romanticizing like what they were doing because they're playing shows, they're going to bars, they're like, they have friend groups, house parties, they're hanging out with girls, like just stuff that like I thought like this is what I'll be doing when I'm 22 or whatever. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, I think I was friends with Kim for a little while, and she was kind of like, she was really cool if she likes you, like that kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
But also, if she doesn't like you, she probably has a reason.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she's like fun to watch.
I still don't know what happened between Scott and Kim, but I know that Kim is extremely like forgiving for whatever the fuck went down. The fact that they could work in a band after whatever the hell Scott did to her.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming is that he cheated on her because he's a fucking cheater.
Yeah. And also, whatever happened, Kim was in the right.
Yeah.
Like, we know that.
We know that.
Without
and we
context.
know that she is mad for a good reason.
Yeah. You know who is actually, I think, one of the villains of the movie is Scott's sister. Like, the more I watch it.
Dude, she's a bitch. I
like,
love
dude,
her.
you are stirring the pot so good. I mean, I love that she's there.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah.
She's like one of
and
those.
Anna Kendrick was a perfect fucking pick to play her, too. Like, she's just that energy. Fucking
Sometimes it's hard for me to,
with Wallace all the time.
Yeah. When she tells they're at the Rocket for the Toronto Battle of the Bands thing or whatever, and she's like, it's just hard for me to keep track sometimes because he has so many friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you're such a bitch.
You are such a
Because she's got that like smile where she's like
she's
like,
really enjoying it.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, I've encountered a lot of her at like the place that we work at. There's a lot of those types, like a really bitchy customer that's like usually a white lady that's like, she's smiling but she's being a fucking bitch. That's like his sister to me. Yeah. And I love her for it because like a lot of the time I think what she's trying to do is call him on his shit to keep him honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's stirring the pot because she knows that it'll come back to fix her brother.
Yeah, it's like a learning opportunity or
Yeah.
something. That scene in the first part of it where she finds out about his fake high school girlfriend and they're on the phone with each other, they didn't film it where either of them could hear each other's dialogue.
Sorry.
Oh, that was water. That was water and ice.
It was alcoholic water and ice.
Oh, is that White Claw?
That's the green apple White Claw. I put in my Starbucks cup.
Shout out. Hey, maybe I should write an ad for them. I think the other two went really well.
Dude, they would love you.
They would eat that up.
You put enough money into White Claw. What the fuck was that?
Was that your throat?
That was my throat.
That was your throat sphincter?
Expelling the carbonation, I guess. Yeah. God damn, that was strange. No, you put enough money into White Claw for them to pay you back a little, I feel like.
White Claw and Liquid Death.
Yeah.
Like
Liquid Death, I don't know how you fucking justify paying for those things. They're good. But $12 for, what is it, a 6-pack? An 8-pack?
It's an 8-pack.
Of water, people.
It's sparkling water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. My final thoughts. Something that we like to do over here at Visceral Musings, and I don't usually if I have a guest, I don't usually do my final thoughts. But I thought today was a special example. Scott Pilgrim is one of my absolute favorite movies ever created. The parallels to old video games, the banter, the perfect casting, the iconic imagery has all had a profound impact on me. It's every bit as funny and creative as it is heartfelt.
Church.
Yep, it's like lightning in a bottle. It just found me at the right time, and it's been a place of comfort when I've hated the world. It looks so much like it just fell out of the panels of a Brian Lee O'Malley comic book, and I couldn't imagine a better interpretation of the source material. I'm in lesbians with this movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's all I got for you. What are your final thoughts on Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
I haven't read a manga?
It's a comic book.
I have not read that comic book, but
you don't need to.
I do. I think the movie probably stands
on its own.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim, Edgar Wright taught me how to have fun, how to be subtle and meticulous and purposeful with your time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Or like
they made something so like lightning in a bottle, something that you couldn't do at any other time because they wanted to.
Yeah.
They wanted to make it work.
Yeah, and it kind of just like stands on its. I was gonna say one of my favorite things about the movie is one of my things that I didn't like about the comic book, which is the rapid. That's why I skipped it because I didn't know if you'd read it or not. But the rapid character introduction, I don't enjoy it in the comic books. But I really liked it in the movie. Yeah,
in the movie when it just bink, 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 bink. I had to pause them.
It made it funnier.
Yeah.
That's why I always think, too, like he had to have just been reading the comics and seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also good because, like, he's good at like subtle nuances. Edgar Wright is, but like I noticed it earlier when I was just like paying attention to the way that he plays with like lighting and stuff. And like there's so many good cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
Like Nathan Fillion's in it for a second, or the dude from, I can't think of his name, but he was in The Boondock Saints 2.
Superman's in the movie.
Superman's in the movie. He just is casually one of her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
The fucking Human Torch and Captain America is in the movie. Like, there's so many good fucking people in the movie. But one of my favorites is, Tom Kenny yells KO whenever he beats one of the exes.
Oh my god, dude! I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
that actually makes so much sense. That is fucking SpongeBob.
And
That's
Bill
SpongeBob.
Hader. Bill Hader is the voice of the Dance Dance Revolution ninja game. And he also is the narrator of the movie. So when it
I
comes
did
in,
know that he narrated it.
yeah, he also does the voices for the Nega Ninja game.
So
But
sick.
when he says, when she's talking to Scott after he kind of decides that he needs to break up with her for Ramona, there's a part where she's like, do you want to keep going? And like in the background, it's like their game's playing and it's like continue, like, and it's
Yeah.
counting down. And like just stuff like that he does that I find really clever, but like I wouldn't pay attention to it a whole lot if I was like
It
just
feels
mindlessly
so
watching the movie.
natural, but it
Yeah.
also like it's so purposeful. It really tugs at your heartstrings in that moment because you weren't expecting it.
So concludes another episode of Visceral Musings, a special episode, which is going to be exciting because a lot of Braydon and I hadn't been talking to each other a whole lot, and our friends don't know that we have
We got back together?
that we quite literally kissed and made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was consensual. I might add, I consensually kissed him on the mouth. Outside of our house.
I didn't think twice.
No. We had a couple drinks. We sat, we talked it out, and it's special. So it's a good thing to sit and talk to your buddies about things that you like. But I like to end every single episode by asking our guest, what is your top 3? And that can be any number of things. It can be, I've had people give me their top 3 ice creams. I've had people mix it up. They give me movies. They give me pornographic categories or like fetishes.
Has somebody actually given you a pornographic category?
No.
Oh.
They've never given me fetishes either. But what is your top 3?
Top
And
3
why
fetishes or just like top 3 in general?
It can be anything that you want. It's 3 things that you're into
This
right
was
now.
such a hard list for me to make because I feel like I live through the art that I consume, which is really unhealthy, but it's the way that I'm doing it, so fuck you. My big 3, I'm gonna say it.
Uh-oh.
There's one band that I didn't realize was my favorite band for a long time. I knew all of their songs.
Uh-oh.
I went to their shows.
Let him speak.
I sang along and I was ingesting all of it just without even thinking about it. That's Joyce Manor.
Ankles up.
The best pop punk band in the last fucking however long.
Yeah.
I know you're a stickler for Knuckle Puck, but Joyce Manor
yeah.
is really pop punk emo. If you're into that kind of shit, that's the best. That's the best you're gonna get out of it, especially in this last couple of years.
I don't have much to add to that other than I fucking love Joyce Manor. They're also in like my I had lunch today with Josh Reedhead.
Yeah.
And he asked me like who's your, because I told him that like he was wearing a band t-shirt and I was like, they're actually not my favorite band. He's like, who is your favorite band? And I was just like, Citizen. And then I had to think about it. I was like, damn, I really fuck with Citizen. And like Joyce Manor's up on that list too. Like those are bands.
I didn't realize it until I said it, and
Yeah.
then it just became so true. Like Joyce Manor really is. I just appreciate first of all the poetry.
Yeah.
Barry Johnson, which is so fucking funny that he
Yeah.
has 2 phallic names,
Yeah,
and that's
up
just
Barry
him.
and A. Johnson right now.
Who up Barry and they Johnson? Barry Johnson is the voice of a generation. In my eyes, at least, I feel like he captures so much of the bittersweet growing up, coming of age, realizing that everybody is going through their own type of shit, realizing that everything is about perspective and that you should savor the moment. This type of shit, that's Barry Johnson.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a poet that I forgot the name of.
I really appreciate how he does like a good example of this before I let you move on is like in 40 Ounces to Fresno. What's that song? The Stray Cat song. He's really good at doing those short stories that are like captured perfectly in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and they never
Leather
feel,
Jacket.
Yeah,
You're in the army now.
They're so fucking good. Well, Catalina Fight song is
It all
also a minute
it
and a
all
half.
sounds like it feels like a snapshot of his world and his life at that moment, and that's exactly what I feel like art should be.
Yeah, and they're not overly verbose, but he's really good at using effective phrasing to like
Sucking titty by the ocean.
exactly. I feel like I'm there. I can feel the sand between my toes and the nipple in my mouth. Like,
Exactly.
thank God for Barry Jones. All right, what's number 2?
The Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's like my comfort thing. Like, I couldn't pick one of them, but like those are. I geek the fuck out about those movies. I've never read the books. I'm illiterate as fuck. I just watch movies.
That's true. I usually have to help you pick out clothes that have text on them.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do I like this?" And I'll be like,
I'm like a fucking African wearing like an American text T-shirt that says "I love boobies"
or
or
like an American with a kanji like tattoo written in like Chinese or something.
oh yeah, you know? But it says like shit fuck or
that would be a shit fuck.
Shit fuck.
Rest in peace, shit fuck. Shout out Jonathan.
Rest in shit fuck. Actually,
Rest in the septic tank that you came from. No, I think that when we watched The Lord of the Rings. I think it was one of the we watched it when we first
watched
moved
the
in
Two
here.
Towers.
Yeah,
And it was fucked up because I was fucked up and I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. And then I just didn't look away.
Yeah.
It really draws you in.
Yeah, it's a good run. And I know you like The Hobbit too, like
I like the first movie, The Unexpected Journey of the Hobbit. That book is so fucking small compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy that could have really been one movie. I think they really fucked it up. And and what it comes down to is corporate greed, target price gouging,
right?
This kind of shit.
Preach.
You know, it's never enough for these fucking people.
Church.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they pass that pan around. They're like, "Can you give us 10% of your income?"
Can you give us 3 movies out of
why?
100-page book?
Fucking same with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Who in their right goddamn mind thought we should make 3 movies about why?
They were gonna do 6.
Yeah, why? They're done. It's done. It was a one-off story, and they should have just left it for what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think Lord of the Rings is a good one. What's number 3? Take us home. Let's put a ribbon on it.
Nah, dude, because this is the one that I really couldn't decide on.
Uh-oh.
I think it's got to be like pre-2020 -32.
Pre-2020.
I'm being fucking dead ass,
Oh
bro.
my
I had
God.
never been a fan of a local musician until you and Colton and Josh did your thing. And that actually kind of did change my life a little bit. For the better? Who knows? But I'm enjoying myself, and I know that I can. I know that I'm capable of things because of that.
We should. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll work on those songs that we
Tossed.
that we tossed. I don't know. I think without foreshadowing anything, I think people maybe, you know, if you want to listen to my own advice or Mark Don't Got Hands, the things that Brayden and I had previously worked on with -32, rest in peace. Now would be the time, and because they're gonna go. And we're taking them with us.
Can't pay for that shit forever.
No, but it was a great time. I think that, you know, it's kind of crazy because like 2 life-changing projects that we were both a part of was fucking -32, Safety School.
Yeah.
And so it was different and difficult walking away from like -32 because like at the end of the day, it wasn't like, it was only going to be fulfilling to me if we were going to be buddies making music together, and when it felt like it might not be fun anymore, I was like, damn. But then I think revisiting it and having like those honest conversations afterwards, like, is this us still?
Yeah.
No, but that's okay.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's a part of us.
And it's almost
that's
more
cool to look
special
back
that
on.
way. I think, and almost in a way, like the last things that we did weren't even -32 in a weird way. Like it was almost
Seems disconnected.
Yeah, it was like disjointed in a way where it's like it started to kind of take on its own thing, and then maybe it was for the better that those songs never got released under that moniker or anything. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
If it wasn't that, it was gonna be fucking Tom York or some bullshit like that.
Some fucking washed up hack who makes a
Suspiria.
lot of money. But you know, I would like to say thank you for being a part of this. Obviously, it was long overdue. It just didn't seem like it. in the moment. But yeah, I think when I set out with the intent to do Visceral Musings, there was a long time. Like my notebook was, Visceral Musings with Cody Reed and BREYDON Hill. Like it was almost.
I'd be what's that guy that sits across from Conan?
Oh, Steve Higgins.
Yeah, I'd be Steve
Or
Steve Higgins.
Guillermo.
Not Guillermo.
No, Steve Higgins is. I'm thinking of the wrong dude. Steve Higgins is Jimmy Fallon. Conan O'Brien's guy was Andy Richter.
Okay, yeah, Andy.
Yeah.
Andy's my man. I
Yeah.
feel like Andy.
That would be that was originally like the mindset that I had for it. So I think that now we get to see it come full circle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is the first episode with you on it. I don't think it's the last one, unless you listen back to it and you're like, God, I fucking hate that dude. I don't want to come back.
I'm not looking forward to hearing my voice and my slur.
Your slur?
My slurred speech.
I think you've gotten more and more more clarity through each alcoholic beverage. Honestly,
Yeah, I had a shot and a half of Fireball and a White Claw, and this is really, I'm in my bag right now.
Yeah.
I'm too deep.
yeah. Honestly, I think now you're finally warmed up.
Oh, Free Throw, another great emo band. Okay. Before the episode ends, I know it's running long, but rattle off top 5 emo bands. Just first thing that comes to your brain.
Oh shit! Top 5 emo bands, specifically emo.
Specifically new wave 2010s, like 2020s emo, like new shit.
New shit. So I mean, Hot Mulligan, obviously, is like a big
Number one
for
hot
me.
new band.
Exactly. Post emo. Probably post Knuckle Puck kind of qualifies in a way, but that feels wrong. Tiny Moving Parts. Tiny Moving Parts is a big one. You don't like Tiny Moving Parts?
I mean, there's just the thing,
Oh shit! Never mind. No Tiny Moving Parts. Let's go back.
Also, all of the songs kind of sound the same. It's like diddly 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 doo.
Yeah, it kind of loses its edge after a while.
Yeah.
Shit. Post 2010s. That's kind of tough.
Or like Joyce Manor started in fucking 2008 or whatever.
Did
So
they
if I was
really?
gonna say that,
Oh,
they put
well,
their
I
first
thought-
record out in 2010.
Okay, it's in Joyce Manor. It's definitely on my list. That was
Citizen.
People don't even know that when we went to the studio, they were like, "Who do you want to sound like?" We're like, "Fucking." Well,
Joyce Manor and the Get Up Kids.
Joyce
Basically,
Manor,
that was it.
and Jimmy Eat World,
Yeah.
Clarity era Jimmy Eat World. Definitely Joyce Manor, Citizen. I think Citizen wrote the emo album for like
Youth?
Youth.
Yeah.
Youth is like the emo album. Fuck.
Title Fight counts.
Title Fight counts. Then Title Fight definitely.
Yeah.
Number 5. Who's number 5? Because that's a pretty solid fucking list. Hot Mulligan.
You know what,
Joyce
actually-
Manor, Title Fight.
What was we played with a band? A couple
Modern
of times.
Baseball.
Modern Baseball is fucking awesome. I think
Yeah.
they might come back soon. Don't hold me to that, but
I will if they do.
Something's in the fucking water, bro. I feel it. I feel it. I have to feel it. I have to hope.
Yeah, that something tastes different.
Title Fight Modern Baseball Tour 2025 could
That
go
would be fucking
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
What was the last one that you were gonna say we played with a band?
We played with a band that was very fucking emo, and we liked them a lot, and we still talk about their music from time to time. They just put out a new project a couple months ago, Badger Springs.
Oh yeah.
Arizona?
Badger Springs is really good, and Celebration Guns.
Um,
I still fuck with Celebration Guns. I don't know if you listen.
Other
to
than
them.
that, I like Celebration Guns. I will say is my favorite Arizona band that
Yeah.
I've ever seen live, that I have ever like listened to.
Yeah.
that has stuck it out. Like they're still a band after all this time. They have their fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and they are fucking like wizards, dude. They have like
wizards.
their most recent release is like got some of the oddest time signatures and some of the like really impressive shit that I wasn't expecting when I was listening to it. I was like, dude, how the fuck are you like paying attention to what you're doing right now? Because like,
and they do it so
yeah,
casually.
and Justin plays guitar.
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're singing.
You're
like,
singing beautiful
dog,
fucking
I can't
melodies.
I can't do shit. I'm no good whenever I like play. Whenever I get technical, I get fucked up. But anyway, all right. Well, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, real quick. Thank you for being on the podcast. It does mean a lot to me. This is a labor of love for me. I don't ask people to come here that I don't want to talk to. Like if I wouldn't phone it in. I wouldn't be like, you know what, fuck it. I got no one else. Let's have BREYDON. I could have done anybody. I have stuff lined up in the works. I could have hit up other people. I genuinely did want you to be here. I hope it comes across when
Thank
people
you.
when people listen back on it.
It's good to be here.
What are your socials? Just at Brayden Hill?
Marlon Rando WYA is where I actually post. It's on Instagram. That's the only place I'm active on.
Yeah.
Other than that, like whoever's listening to this should already either know me or not have my socials.
Yeah, probably.
At Brayden Hill, it's just my name. You can spell it out.
Yeah.
That's my social name on every social media, Snapchat.
Follow
Included.
Visceral Musings podcast on Instagram at Visceral Musings Pod. Follow us on Facebook. It's just Visceral Musings over there. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Follow my own personal account at That Roller Pig. Sometimes we'll frequently post the fucking Q&A segments. So concludes another episode of Visceral Musings, Season 2, Episode 9 with Brayden Hill. One last thing. What are you gonna say? What you got?
Oh, I was just gonna blow you a little kiss.
Oh. I caught it. All righty, buddy. Well, have a good night. I'm going to go watch Deadpool 3.